Now we're tied at 5 as we go to the bottom of the 11th. Here's Aaron Boone to lead off.
His first at-bat of the game. There's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series. Aaron Boone has hit a home run. The Yankees go to the World Series for the 39th time in their remarkable history.
That one's drilled deep to left field. There it goes. That ball is gone. See ya. A walk-off two-run home run for Alex Rodriguez.
Hi everyone and welcome to the Bronx Benchwarmers Podcast. I'm Charlie.
I'm Max. And we're just two friends having conversations about Yankees baseball, so let's dig in.
Hey Max, how's it going?
Charlie, what's going on?
Not much. Long time no hear from you. Welcome back to a new season.
I know it's gonna be a good one. We got our guy back, and it only costs a little less than $400 million. That's not too bad.
A little less than $400 million and 9 years guaranteed.
That's an unfathomable contract. But you know what? It's the going seems to be the going rate these days for a star outfielder in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, but to me, I do think it'll pay off for the Yankees, but we still have some nightmares regarding the Alex Rodriguez situation where he was basically being paid $30 million to sit in in an office somewhere and pretty much do nothing for the team. So let's hope that this doesn't happen with the Judge situation.
Well, I think we have to look at it more that it's something that the Steinbrenner family had to do in order to keep the fan base happy. It was an investment.
If you don't retain
to
Judge,
them.
you're done.
No, you have to. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I mean, who would let Aaron Judge walk away after having the season that he just had, and then come back into their stadium and hit the ball out into the bleachers in left field against them? That I know they were opening their season. The Yankees were opening their season against the San Francisco Giants, and I just can't imagine if Judge had been wearing a Giants uniform. And I don't know if it was ever really close for him signing there. I know the reports broke out that he had signed with them, but those were false reports. I don't know how close he ever was. I don't think there was ever a doubt in his mind that he was going to be a Yankee. But the numbers had to add up because he needs to know his worth, and this is a business, and he needs to know that the Steinbrenners value him as the leader of the club.
They do value him, but I also did hear multiple reports. I don't know if you did, but I heard multiple reports that the Yankees didn't offer him the most money.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Padres probably threw down more money. I mean, they spent
But in the end, he wanted to be in New York. He felt that what the Yankees were offering him was good enough, and he's also a team player too.
Yeah.
He knows that he needs to build a team around him, and he can't hog up all the money either.
No, you can't. You got to have those. You got to have supporting actors. You have to have people around you that can play ball at a high level, and the Yankees do. They fell a little short last year. They got destroyed by Houston in the playoffs, but I think a lot of that was just because of the bullpen situation, because their starting pitching was very good in playoffs. It really was. And
I really think it's going to be this year as well, but they still don't have a good bullpen. We'll touch that subject later. But
yeah, I really like the Tommy Kahnle signing. I thought that was a good move. I thought it was smart to bring back a veteran that has been in New York and knows the pressure of the playoffs and stuff. So I thought that was a good move. Hopefully he's the same player he was before, but you never know. You don't know what's going to happen until it plays out on the field. We sit here, we could speculate anything we want about this season that's coming up, but until the end of October, there's no way to know what's going to happen. I always think back to like the 2017 season where we were kind of just going through the motions a little bit, and the Yankees had felt like they were rebuilding, and man, they got one game away from the playoffs, and obviously the Houston cheating scandal and everything, but they were really close that year, and I feel like the team that we have now certainly competes with that that style team. I think we're a little younger, a little faster. The Bader signing last year was a big deal. I think he could be a staple in the Yankees outfield for a
I
long
do,
time to come.
especially to replace Hicks. And I hate to bag one guy and harp on one negative part of the team, but Hicks needs to go. They need to get rid of Hicks. The last couple years, and I've always been a fan of him, but the last couple years he's proven that he's not a hustler. He's not a team player. He doesn't mind sitting out games, and he this year I bet you I saw at least half a dozen to a dozen balls fall right in front of his face, especially in the playoffs. He won't even die for him.
Yeah, I
He's
think there
not a
was.
hustler,
I
you
think
know.
you could question the effort this year. I
And
think.
Boone and him have always seen, have seemed to get along, and which is good. You got to get along with the players if you're the coach, but you got to also discipline these guys. These guys are making millions of dollars. You got to tell them hey, they got to hustle. They're going to sit on the bench, and I think he found it out this year, but he was left in there way too long. He should have never been given the opportunity that he was given after all the chances he blew, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. It's not that you're not wrong, but
Now they
it's
can't buy out his contract. Nobody's going to buy it out.
no, no. I don't think there's a buyer right now. He's gonna have to go out there on the field and prove that he's you know capable of helping a team win the games in order for him to get back on the field. And he's gonna have to show a lot in spring training, especially with all these young guys coming up with Cabrera and Peraza and all these
Exactly,
guys.
but if he doesn't, what do? You can't let him sit on the bench for however much he's getting paid a year. I believe
Nah.
it was like between 10 and 15 million. But
Yeah, it probably comes down to the Yankees having to just eat the money and get the roster spot back. Because
exactly,
it might be more worth it to use a younger guy like Oswaldo Cabrera or something in left field, and eat the money on Hicks when you're not really paying Cabrera right now. And, not that he's not being paid, but he's not getting major league money right now. So, um,
exactly.
yeah, it might be worth it. The Yankees obviously believed in Cabrera enough to put him on the field in the playoffs last season.
I think Cabrera is going to be a big part of this team this year. I'm
Yeah,
really looking forward to watching him all this year, and I think he's going to be a staple in the Yankees program for years to come. I really
yeah.
do.
I think right now it's a real battle at shortstop between Volpe and
Yeah,
kind of Falefa.
Volpe's good.
Yeah, kind of
You know,
Falefa.
kind of Falefa is good. He made some fielding errors. I honestly, from all the reports I've read, I really think Connor Falefa is just a fill-in guy. I think he's the guy that he's a decent player. He's given the Yankees a lot of things that they needed, but he's not the guy that they want to rely on as their shortstop for the future. He's
No,
the
I
guy
don't
that's
think you.
holding the place while Volpe's progressing and getting more more experience.
Yeah, I think what other teams do that the Yankees don't do is use their younger players or let them develop more in the major leagues. The Yankees always seem to kind of
Bring him
wait
up
it out.
late.
They seem to wait it out with these guys. Even
Look
like
at
with Judge,
Judge. Judge didn't
yeah,
start till he was at 27 years old, 20
I
whatever it
know,
was.
and
20,
I refuse to believe that that time in the minors really took his game to a different level. I think if you got the talent, you got the talent. I think somebody like Volpe, I think he deserves a shot at shortstop this season. He deserves. I always say
exactly.
you can't judge a player in less than a month. I always say
And if it
you need
doesn't work, you have kind of Falefa.
exactly, yeah, and we
You
know
know
that kind of. I'm not saying Kiner Falefa is not a major league shortstop. He is, but you can't have a shortstop playing for the Yankees that you can't start in the postseason or that you're not comfortable with putting out a shortstop in the postseason.
exactly. Oh yeah,
And that
exactly.
was certainly a problem. I mean, what the Yankees had a different starting shortstop in all four of their games, I think, against Houston, didn't they?
I believe so. I'd have to check on
Yeah,
that, but I believe you're right.
I know Falefa started one. I know Peraza started one. I know Cabrera started one. I might have started two, and then Peraza and Cabrera
Yeah.
both started one. So they had a different starting shortstop in 3 out of 4 of the games, I think, against Houston.
Yeah, I will say kind of left at the beginning of the year last year. He started off real slow. when they first got him, he couldn't hit a ball, but then he became a solid hitter. He was a good guy to get on base and start him off. He did many times, even when his bat wasn't working during the season, he'd find a way to get on base with a walk. He was a good base runner too. So I give him credit for that. But unless he really improves a lot this year, and especially with Volpe, being so good in the minors right now, and he's the number. I believe he the number one prospect
I think he
just for the
is. Yeah,
Yankees, or I know he is for the Yankees, but is he for overall major leagues?
not overall. He's
Okay,
on the list. He's in the top 15, but I don't think he's the number one. I know
okay,
he's the number one Yankees prospect, but I think he's probably in the top 15 in the major leagues. But he's not
okay.
number one in the major leagues.
No, but he's going to be a very good player. So, but who knows? Falafa, maybe you move him somewhere else. Maybe you keep him and you keep him as a trading piece.
Yeah, I think that's probably why the Yankees tendered his contract. They probably, knowing that Volpe was coming into spring training and knowing that Peraza was coming into spring training and that Cabrera can play shortstop, I think right now they tendered him a contract thinking that they could flip that. I think they gave him like $4 million. They could flip that
Get
$4
something
million.
for it. It's an
Yeah,
investment.
yeah, they could flip that for something maybe sometime during spring training or something. But I mean, I don't dislike Connor Falefa. It was aggravating to expect him to make errors in the postseason, and then he did. So
Exactly.
that was kind of frustrating as a fan. But
And here's the other thing: a guy like him, who, like I said, hit decent all year. But if he got on, during the playoffs against Houston, if he got up to the box and hit, you know, went 2 for 3, 2 for 4, couple games, and was hitting RBIs and getting on base, that'd be a different story. If he
yeah,
made an error or two here and there, you can deal
yeah,
with that. But when a guy's not hitting, plus he's making errors in the field, you can't have that,
you
especially
can't.
against
No, you
Houston.
can't.
You
It
make one
can't
error
be.
against Houston, the game's over.
Yeah, you're going from a two-dimensional player to a zero-dimensional player. You can't do that on the major league field. And plus, don't forget, as Yankee fans, I mean, we're just so spoiled. I mean, for 20 years, we had Derek Jeter playing shortstop. He was a postseason hero, and then we went from Jeter to Didi Gregorius, and Gregorius was a fantastic defensive shortstop, and he was also clutch in the postseason as well. So we were
Exactly.
we were spoiled for a while on the shortstop front, and I really believe that somebody like Volpe or Peraza is going to be the answer going forward here in the future.
I do too. Now going back to um, our beginning, of the conversation, um, I do think that Hell Steinbrenner, okay, had one of the best off seasons. Even though if you read all the reports if you read all the articles and reports online, ESPN, they're saying the Yankees didn't get much done this year besides signing Rondon, but they did say, and from everything I've read, Rondon wanted an extra 1 year and $40 million than what the Yankees gave him. And from other reports, Judge was offered up to $30 to $40 million more in one extra year than what the Yankees gave him. So the Steinbrenner family got away with two good, two of the best players in the entire league, and they got him for less than what they could have spent.
Yeah, they got him without being the highest bidder.
Exactly, which is very rare in today's game. Today's game, these guys want the what are they called? Generational contracts, where it takes care of, uh, 10 generations under you, your kids, your kids' kids, and so on. That's
Yeah,
what these contracts are. And these guys don't care where they play. They just want the most money. And
yeah,
I give these two credit because these two guys wanted to be in New York.
they
If they
did.
didn't care, they'd be somewhere else.
Yeah, and I think just in the grand scheme of things, to somebody like Judge, is it worth it to go play in Cincinnati for 9 years and just be miserable? And I feel like he would have regretted for the rest of his life if he ever left the Yankees over what I know, millions of dollars is a lot of money, but I guess in the grand scheme of things, when you're making a $380 million contract, that it's probably worth it to stay where you're going to be happiest. instead of go someplace like Cincinnati or the Marlins or something where it's a lower caliber organization. When you have a chance to stay in New York and be the captain of the team, and it's I don't think sacrificing the money is worth sacrificing the legacy, and I think he would have been sacrificing his Yankees legacy.
I 100% agree with you. I really think that the whole off season, everybody knew that he was going to stay with New York. It was just a matter of you had to see it, the fine print, because the money was an option. At first I heard reports that the Giants were going to offer him, 500 million. The Yankees were going to offer him 450 million. None of that panned out, but it shows you how much Judge wanted to be in New York, and it showed you that the Steinbrenners also, I do think they persuaded him. They signed Rizzo right off the bat. Day one, that was one of the best things they could have done. It was like a week or two after.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember that. Yeah, that was a good
yeah,
signing too.
they signed him immediately. They're showing Judge that they want to win. Judge and Rizzo are very close, and that's a serious move by the Yankees to show Judge that they want to win. And hey, stay with us. We're not getting rid
Yeah,
of other guys. We're going to sign you. Plus, we're going to sign other guys. They
yeah,
signed Bader back.
they showed they showed, and Judge allowed the opportunity by taking a little pay cut there to bring in these other pieces, and that's important, too, to have guys around you that are going to help you win. The Yankees aren't anywhere near as a competitive team without Stanton and Rizzo in the lineup, and those guys have proven time and time again to be clutch players and great for a ball club. I mean, Stanton's what? I think he's 12 years into his major league career now. I don't know if this is his 12th or 13th season, but um, I mean, you're talking about a guy who is a superstar who time and time again just he shows up. He just always shows up at the big moment, and it never seems like the moment's too big for him. And I think he's been a great guy to have around Judge. He was a good fit when they brought him in 2018 for to show Judge, I think, the ropes of the major leagues, and I think he brings a lot to the table. And I think Stanton's always he's always one injury away from having a 50 home run season. If he doesn't get hurt, I think he hits his 40, 45 homers every year. And I thought he had a great season last year. I
He
love the
did.
way that
He
I
did.
love the way that he shows up in the playoffs. I love the way that he shows up every day, and he just keeps his nose clean. I mean, that long in the spotlight, and he's had a huge contract since the time he was young,
I
and he just
honestly think the best thing that ever happened to Stanton was when he first came to New York. New York mellowed him out because he came to New York, he'd strike out a lot. His first year, I remember he struck out within like the first week. There was a game where he had 4 strikeouts in one game,
yeah,
and
but
they booed him
that's the
off the
Yankee.
field.
Yeah, and that's Yankee fans forgetting that the
Yankee
first game of the season about two 450-foot home runs on the first game of the
Exactly, but
season.
New York fans are tough, and not
Exactly.
everybody can play New York. But I will give him credit because he let that experience mellow him out. And I also think the best thing that ever happened to that guy is that Aaron Judge became a great player, and nobody saw that when they signed Stanton. They didn't know that Aaron Judge was going to be that good.
No, they knew he was going to be good. I mean, he was coming off of what, a 52 home run season, I think.
Yeah, but they didn't think everybody thought, okay, yeah, was this guy's good, but can he do this again?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and I will give Stanton credit because he stayed there and he let Judge take the spotlight,
Hmm.
even though he was older, he was more mature, he's more seasoned. He let Judge take the spotlight from him, and I think that was the best thing that ever happened to
Yeah,
Stanton.
and he never took his foot off the gas though. He showed up every day,
No, but I think it
always
made
ready.
it easier for him because being in New York, he didn't where you would have all that pressure. The pressure was on Judge. Now it's not on Stanton as much, so he
No,
can sit back and do what he does best, and not have to worry about everything else.
I mean, Stan. I don't know about how you feel, but Stan is just he's one of my
He's
favorite
one of my
players to
favorites.
watch. He's just so explosive. I mean, you don't. It's so much fun just to watch a guy who just goes out there and plays
He
hard.
looks like he's swinging a golf club when he makes contact. It doesn't look like he's hitting a baseball. It looks like he's hitting a golf ball.
He's
That ball just flies.
ridiculously strong, just ridiculously strong, and he's just a great fit for the team. And he's been a great fit, and living in New York and just keeping his nose clean all those years. I think the Yankees just have a really solid group of guys right now. There doesn't seem to be any problem guys in the dugout. There doesn't seem to be anybody who's out in New York, getting caught in scandals or anything. They don't have those situations now, and I think the Yankees have. It seems like over the last maybe 5 years, they really prioritized keeping the team just really clean, and
Exactly.
it
The
seems to be
only
working.
one I told you that I don't think he's a fit in New York anymore is Aaron Hicks. And I hate to harp on it. I know I am, but he just, you were just saying, there's no bad guys on the team. Aaron Hicks isn't a bad guy by any means, but I feel like he brings the team down. When he's in a slump, it's not just a slump for him, it's a slump for the team. It's just the way he shows it. He shows his attitude. He doesn't hustle. He doesn't. He has a bat at the plate, and then goes in the field and he lets a blooper land 5 feet in front of him. He could have slid on his knee and caught it. He lets it drop in front of him.
Yeah, I think a lot of last season was a mental game for him. I mean, baseball is an extremely mental game. I know
It
it
is,
was. It
but
was for me.
you
It was for
can't
you.
with a group of guys like this. You can't have it.
No, you can't.
I'll give Hicks another chance because I like him. But if he doesn't, come to this year, then how many more chances can you give a guy that you're paying millions of dollars to, double digits, and he's not performing?
Yeah, I think possibly within the Yankees front office, there's a um, time crunch on Hicks. That's maybe like, hey, you know what? If he can't show us by June that this wasn't a fluke last year, that there's going to be changes made where they might end up eating some money on that contract.
Yeah, and the same with Josh Donaldson. Josh Donaldson he's a very good fielder. He's getting older, but he wasn't the power bat that they thought he was going to be.
No, he was.
He still did good, but he's 38, 39 years old. I mean,
Yeah, he seemed to be about 10 feet short last season.
exactly.
I could think of so many occasions where the ball was just 10 feet short of what was a home run for him just 3 or 4 years ago. And I think I think he's just, and look, there's no secret in any professional sports. You're playing against Father Time, and Father Time is always going to be the winner. Anybody's body's going to give up. I mean, look at the career A-Rod had. By the time when it's over, it's over. When your body gives out, your body gives out.
Yes,
And I
but that
think,
scares me with the Judge contract.
yeah,
Because,
but you know what? It's just part of the
yeah,
thing.
you
The
got
Yankees,
you got to pay that to get him right now.
yeah, you got to pay that money to get him now and in the future. Listen,
You
think
almost
of
got to write it off. You got to say, you know what,
yeah.
years 7 through 9 might be, crap years, and we're gonna lose 120 million dollars, but
Or maybe not. Maybe, but listen, he's not going to hit 62 home runs when he's 37 years old. He's going to hit 25. It's just the circle of life. It's just how it is. It's how it is with anything. It's with in any sport. Nobody plays forever. Nolan Ryan pitched as long as he possibly could. I think he was 46 or 47 years old. His arm gave out. His arm gave out one day, and that's it. Look at Tom Brady just retiring here from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. After a while, you're competing against Father Time here, and the contract right now is worth it. The jersey sales the Yankees are going to have, the fans being in the seats, having a guy who's going to be the captain, having another captain is a huge deal. The marketing, it's there's a lot involved with it. The Yankees know that they will make back the money that Judge may not perform up to past the age of 35.
Exactly.
But yeah, so we're getting ready for this season. It's going to be fun, and we'll be back with a lot more conversations once we get rolling and see how things playing out. But as always, as Yankee fans, we expect world championships, and we're
hopefully this year we'll get one.
Yeah, hopefully this year we'll get one. So we're going to
right.
see what happens. But yeah, keep coming back, listening to us, and we'll be back with some more episodes real soon.
All right, nice talking to you, Max. We'll see you again on the next episode.
Sounds good. Thanks,
All
Charlie.
right.
See ya.
Deep to left field. Going back Cabrera. Looking up. See ya. He's done it. Home run number 50. No rookie has ever hit 50 home runs in a season till Aaron Judge right now. Bases loaded. The pitch to stand. Swung on and drilled deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.